Hi everyone, so today I want to talk to you about floral foam, especially for somebody who is only new and starting off maybe a career in flower arranging. So this would be a typical block of foam, excuse the noise there, and this would be made by a company called Smithers Oasis, which is a brand that we recommend and we use here for all our students. So the blocks of foam, they cut really easy. So using your Oasis brand knife, what you can do, I'm going to place it on the turntable, is you get your knife and you can cut down into it. So we just say that you want a third of a block or a half a block. You will find on the front it is slightly marked out, so it makes life a little bit easier. Now when you're cutting down through it, just to show you, your blade may not go all the way across, but listen, this is just like magic. You cut down into it and watch, you just snap it and you see the way you now have a third of a block or 2/3 of a block. Now, for the arrangement that I want to do eventually, I just need a 1/6 of a block. So you can see the way now, I'm just going to turn that on its side and I'm going to cut it in half again. So again, we cut down into it and again do that snap technique and you now have two pieces, approximately a 1/6 each. Now for soaking them, what I recommend is that you add flower food to your water. So these are little sachets of flower food and we have these for sale on our website, flowerschoolisland.com. So you can add them to your water and ideally a little bit of a swish around, so I'm just going to swish that around, okay? And then what you can do is you can drop your foam into your basin of water. What I like to do in flower arranging is I like to take the corners off the edges of the floral foam. So on one of these little pieces, you can see here, I'm barely taking the edge off. See, I'll just turn it around, barely take the little edges off, okay? And also what I like to do is trim around the top. Again, taking the smallest edge off. Now people just say, why do you do that? The difference it makes when you're making a flower arrangement, it's easier to insert into the floral foam when it hasn't got these real severe corners. It's also easier to hide the floral foam with foliage and flowers. You actually use less foliage and less flowers, again, when you've trimmed around the top. What you then do is you drop it down into your basin, your container of water, and normally we say it takes between 60 and 100 seconds. Now I'm not timing this here, but obviously because it's a smaller piece of foam, it is going to soak up that little bit quicker. Now the thing about floral foam, it can't get over soaked, so don't panic about that. But as soon as it's soaked, you know what I mean, you can remove it and you can start making your flower arrangement. But if you're not ready to work with it straight away, leave it in the basin of water, it won't come to any harm. If you take it out and you just leave it on your draining board, what will happen is it will start to dehydrate. And then once it dries out, it normally doesn't really take up water properly the second time. So my best advice is soak it as you need it. Now again, it's going down and at this stage, I can just see a little area, probably the size, it's now down to the size of a euro coin. It's getting smaller. We're probably on 5 cents, 2 cents, 1 cent, and now it's wet all the way through. Now that's really important. The worst thing you can do is get your hand and push it down into the floral foam, into the water. What happens is when you do that, you cause airlocks in it, and then what will happen is there's little dry patches in your floral foam, and when you insert your flowers and foliage, they're in what we call the dry patch, and they're not going to be able to take up any moisture. So that's a couple of tips on floral foam for beginners. If you are watching this on YouTube, we would really appreciate if you gave us the thumbs up. And why don't you subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us, as we are always posting lots of free top tips, videos, demonstrations and techniques right across the board.